Hey y'all, it's RaeLynn, and you're watching the Libby O Show. Haha, it's a no.
How did she do it? Do it.
Libby. Libby. Libby.
3, 2,
Libby.
1.
It's the Libby O Show.
Hey friends, Libby O here with a brand new episode of the Libby O Show. I am so excited about today's episode because we have the funny girl herself, country star and friend Miss RaeLynn. How's it going? Good
The
to
funny
see
girl
you.
herself. Remember the Barbara Streisand song, Funny Girl?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. After I wrote that song, I was like, oh, what an ode. That's so great.
Well, I love the song. It's
Thank you.
a self-empowerment anthem, and it's just, I feel like that song gives us so much grace to be who we are and to have room to evolve. And so can you talk about the inspiration behind it and what it's been like promoting it?
Yeah, so the inspiration behind that song, I was riding at the house. We were on the back porch, me and my girlfriend, Lauren Hungate, and we were supposed to write with another, it was supposed to be a three-way write on Zoom. And anyways, he had to cancel, and I was just like, hey, you just want to come over and let's just ride on the back porch? It's a beautiful day. And so she comes over, and we're sitting on the porch just hanging, and I'm watching Daisy like in the house because I can, where our porch is, like you can see what's going on in the house. And she's talking about her life. And I think at the time she was pregnant too with her son Church, and or wanting to get pregnant. And I was just thinking about truly just how blessed I felt in that moment. I've obviously been an artist for a really long time. I've lived in Nashville for 12 years, and living and growing up in Baytown, Texas, I was always the funny girl. I was the girl in the back seat jamming, rap music, keeping everybody amped, with my braces and like all the things. Like, I was just always the girl trying to keep the party and the
Keep
vibe
it
going.
lively.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but I had so many, aspirations, not just to be a singer and an artist. I mean, I always wanted to do something big with my life. I didn't know what it would be, but being a mother was one of those things. Finding a really awesome husband, starting a family, and just doing what I love as a job. And I didn't know what that looked like, but that ended up being entertainment. And I just, in that moment, I was just like, life is truly funny. Like, you pray for those things, but you really don't know how it's all going to shake out and the way the Lord's going to work. But I just, in that moment, was just very grateful. And I was like, I want to write a song to my younger self that didn't know if this moment was possible, but it totally was, and it was achieved. And so, yeah, that's how the song happened.
You've done a lot of big things, many projects, which we're going to be talking
Yes.
about today. You're on the Funny Girl Tour right now, in the middle of it.
I'm so excited.
And you actually were just in my hometown at the Miller Theater in Augusta.
It's
so good. How was that?
It has been so much fun doing these smaller town theater shows. And we've just been kind of traveling everywhere. And I've been really fortunate. I got a new booking agent, and I'm like, wherever they want me, I want to go. I want to see the fans again. After 2020, I just got kind of sad. I was like, I want to travel again. I want to see the people that, love my music and have been supporters throughout this whole journey. And so anyways, we have been booking like crazy, and Augusta was such an awesome show. The girls, they were so cute. But it has been so much fun. So y'all come to a show. It's been a really good time. We added fiddle in the band. My dad finally believes that I'm a country artist now that I have fiddle in the band. He was like, listen, until you have fiddle in the band, you're not a country artist. He was joking, obviously. But now that I have fiddle in the band, it's like, now I'm officially a country artist, which is so funny, which he is right in some ways. But so we've really worked hard on this show, and I think if you're a true RaeLynn fan that's been with me since the very beginning, you'll really enjoy the show because we have a lot of older songs, but newer songs, and we really take everybody through the journey of my music. So,
and your dad has been a huge champion of you, also your mom too, but I've heard you say that he's inspired you to chase your dreams and really fight for things that you believe in. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, my dad has owned his own business since he was 23. He owns a tire shop in Texas, and he's owned his own trucking company. He's gone through recessions and all the things that you go through being a business owner. And I've watched him overcome obstacle after obstacle and continue to change his business and evolve and always make it work. And I think growing up with a dad that, was a small business owner and having that just drive instilled that in me. And the times that I'm like, oh my God, the business is going this way. There's streaming, there's this, like, there's so many things that have changed in the music industry over the last 12 years. Right. And it's like I'm always relearning the business. And right when I figured it out, it's like it changes. It's like when you're watching your kid grow up. It's like just when you get used to a routine, they're like, oh, another tooth is popping in and they're not going to sleep for 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like one of those things, and it's evolving with the music industry as well. But he's always taught me to just, go with the punches. Mm-hmm. And if you love what you do every single day, no matter what, then you are doing the right thing. And that's one thing that I can always say is I've always loved what I've done. I love the music. I love songwriting, and I love the fans. I mean, the music industry, all of it, all the other things, that stuff doesn't matter. I didn't get in it because of the industry. I didn't get in it because of Music Row. I got in it because I love country music, and I love the fans, and I love the values behind this genre, and that is what I'm sticking to. But a lot of that has come through really, tough conversations, and a lot of those I've had with my dad.
Well, that's really, really refreshing to hear. And I think that there's a lot of people out there maybe that are even thinking about pursuing something in entertainment, thinking they have to follow a certain formula or do something that's outside of what, they stand for or whatnot. And we were just talking about it before we started recording about how that God's going to provide no matter what, as long as you listen to your gut.
You always have to listen to your gut. And somebody said, I heard somebody say, they were like, if you're questioning if it's God saying something, don't question it. It definitely is him. Like if you hear a little something say, hey, do this. Yeah. It's not anybody else. So just go with it. And I'm like, all right, it's so funny. And we're like, oh, is that really God? No, it probably is. I call it my God gut.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to start doing that too. I'm going to pass that along.
Yes, but it's true though.
I love it. Well, this song, Funny Girl, is about self-discovery. And I remember there's another song too, a couple others. Praying for Rain is one of them, one of your earlier songs. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you get asked the question, what kind of advice would you give your younger self? But what would you give, to yourself 3 years ago? Because we're always, evolving and changing. But things you would have gone through the pandemic or just through career changes, like what would you tell yourself?
Honestly, I think the main thing is just relax and not, I wrote this in a post I did, and I think it was last year. And I think it was it we're in 24, end of 22.
What year? Where are we?
At 20.
Here we're in 1967.
1967 in this house. No, but the end of 22, I was at a point where I was like, okay, God, you're going to either have to show up or I don't know if I can do this anymore. And I was praying, and I felt like I was reminded in that moment when I first moved to Nashville at 17 years old, and I lived in a tiny apartment and in the Gulch before the Gulch was the Gulch. I just woke up every day, put my guitar on my back, went to a writing session. Every little thing that happened, everything that came my way, writing with somebody that wrote one of my favorite songs, or bumping into Ronnie Dunn, like all the things, the everyday Nashville things just put a pep in my step and made me so excited. And I was genuinely grateful for everything that I had. And every day I just woke up being like, okay, God, use me, whatever you want to do, let's go, let's go. And just writing sassy songs and doing it. And I think the mundane of just being in this industry and it changing so much, and then you had the pandemic happen. I just I would say I got a little jaded, and so I entered 23 of like, you know what? Every day is a blessing. Every day, it's amazing what your mindset, when you change your mindset and you truly just be like, okay, I'm going to walk through the doors that open up for me. Whatever comes my way, I'm going to try new things. I'm going you know what? I want to write a children's book. Let me talk to some, like, let's figure that out. Like everything, like I just kind of wrote down things that I wanted to do this year that were a little off color, that might not be like the traditional thing that a country artist does. And that was like, last year was the year where I felt like we just really broke the mold and just trying things and doing things. And it's like, okay, cool. You fail. Who cares?
Literally no one
Nobody
cares.
cares when you fail.
No.
And most multimillionaires, most people that have a dream or are successful have failed. We've all failed. And so I think it's the fear of like getting rid of that fear of failure, and then also just walking through it and just finding the right support system. So, you know, if I could tell myself 3 years or 3 years ago, it'd just be to like take it one step at a time and just follow your gut and follow what you love to do, which is obviously music. So,
And what's been so cool to watch is you did write a children's book.
yes,
Called Raising Me a Country
Country
Girl.
Girl. Mm-hmm.
And I remember the last time we hung out, we did a live stream together, and it was right after Daisy was born.
yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
That's crazy. So talk about the book, talk about the song, and
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like writing a children's book, as you know, separate from writing a song? How different was
Well, I
that?
started writing it. We were at the beach for a week, and my mother-in-law was helping with Daisy, and I was like, okay, this is the time I can lock down and write this book. And she was napping, and I was just on the computer, and I wrote a song called Raise Me a Country Girl. Raise Me a Country Girl was the last song I wrote before going on maternity leave. And I was thinking about what's the song I want to write before I have this baby. And I had written all my not sad songs, but the sweet, I wrote Made for Me to Love. I wrote, what was the other song I wrote? There was another song I wrote about Daisy too. But I was like, I need to write her a fun song. If Daisy is anything like her mama, she's gonna be a crazy little, full of grit, full of grace country girl. And so I kind of just wrote down all the things that my childhood was and what it was like growing up in the South, and going to Sunday school and all the things, and hanging out with my pawpaw and watching hunting shows and all the fun things. And so I wanted to raise me a country girl. So then we got the idea for the song, and I wrote it with Rhett Akins, who obviously has a lot of grandkids with Thomas and with TR and a guy named Will Bundy. And then when we wrote the song, I was like, this would be the cutest children's book. And so we kind of based it off that song.
Those are the two perfect songwriters you could ever have.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have a favorite Rhett Akins song?
What's his, That Ain't My Truck is one of my favorites. I mean, I know it's classic, but it's good.
All the classics ones are good.
I know.
For sure. So talk more a little bit about your family right now. So does Daisy have a personality? I feel like when they turn,
yes, she does.
I only feel like this because I have a
She's so
nephew
wild.
and he's already showing, but I'm sure.
She just we're really working on please, but now it's funny because she realizes when she says please, she gets it. So things that she doesn't need or she doesn't, it's like,
Smart.
she's so smart. So it's like, she doesn't get the remote and she goes, please. And I'm like, ugh, no, you're using it.
How can you deny that?
I know. I'm just like, here you go. I'm just kidding. We just took her to Texas Roadhouse, and that girl probably ate. She housed 5 rolls. I'm not even kidding you. She was like, please, please. I was like, okay, well, got to give you the rolls. No, but she is so fun right now. She's, learning herself. Has so much personality. I love that it takes her a while to wake up. She whenever she wakes up,
takes her time.
Like this morning, I had to wake her up for an appointment, and she was really mad at me. She was crying because she didn't want to wake up. She needs her time. She likes to rub her back and all the things. And me, I'm like coffee, but my husband needs his time. Obviously I'm not rubbing his back and all the things because he's a grown man. But I think it's funny. You see him, her personality in him, and then my personality, and it's just she's a little combo. She's so sweet.
And I'm sure that's fun.
Yeah.
To pick up on new things and nuances.
It is. And she's such a great kid, and she loves other kids too. It's so sweet.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Talk about just what it's meant to you to create music while having a family, because that's a narrative that I think people think that it's hard to have a family to take care of someone while chasing your dreams, but actually, fulfills.
I think it helps you with your time management. Yeah. I've always kind of said yes to everything. I had the day off. Yes. And I've always prioritized my marriage though. When it comes to, because Josh works during the day, so at night, like that was always our time. And then we always made sure that we made time for each other because that's super important. But with having a child, it's just different. And so I kind of just set boundaries. All right, these are my 3 days that I work. I get help those 3 days. And if you can't, the other 2 days, my daughter's coming. So she's coming to meetings. And you know what is cool is it's because I'm bringing Daisy into my world. And if my dad had to work every single day.
Yeah.
So if I had school off, I was with him at the office. And I remember those days. I remember my dad working. I remember seeing him chase the American dream. And I think that that's super important for Daisy to not just, some things she can't come to, obviously, but I think it's important for her to be able to come to things because she needs to know, the way that we live, it's because that mommy and daddy work, and this is what mommy does. And she sees that, and I think letting her into my world has been really cool. And so you add that element. And then, I just feel like being a mother has brought a greater purpose to my life. And when I release songs, I just know that, I don't know, my whole perspective of just the music industry has changed because I'm not living for these guys in suits. I'm living for my family and what I believe, and sticking true to that. And I feel like my purpose is way more focused on what that looks like too.
Yeah, and just trusting God's plan along the way.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's talk a little bit about your American Essence cover that just came out.
So fun.
How was that? That looked like a really fun shoot.
It was really cold. It was in January.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Like a winter in Nashville is like.
Yeah, it was
it
was freezing. When we were doing the horse, I was like, trying, I was like, think warm thoughts. And I was like it was awesome though. I love the American Essence magazine. I love everything that they stand for. And we were talking a lot about faith, obviously patriotism and music and all the things. And, my husband is a Green Beret. My brother's a Green Beret. My brother-in-law is a Green Beret. There's so many, we have a lot of military in our family. And I will always be a huge advocate for that and our freedoms and not taking the things that we have for granted, and especially having a dad, like I said earlier, that's a small business owner and all those things. And but yeah, I really enjoyed doing that, and the article was so great, very fun.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Go check it out. It's on the stands online too, right?
Yes, on the stands in Barnes and Noble too. I still got to go check it out, Barnes and Noble.
Yes,
I'm gonna make like Daisy, it's your mommy.
I love the smell in Barnes and Noble. It's like
it's just all
candle,
the books,
like
it's
paper.
such a great. Yeah, I do like that. I might go to Barnes and Noble today. That might be a good thing to
just
do.
stop by, pick up a magazine.
Hey, it's me.
Promote.
Promote.
And I have to make a comment here. So my producer Olivia in the room, her husband works with Operation Song.
What?
So
That's
Mike is
awesome.
here behind the cameras here. So I think this is like the perfect day to be promoting.
That's awesome.
The vodka that you've been working with on tour, Heroes Vodka.
Yeah, we have 2 awesome sponsors on tour. 2 things that are very different, but I believe in. Heroes, I've known the owner of it for a while. The guy that works at Littman, he's so sweet. But one thing I love about Heroes is every bottle that you buy, money goes to the heroes that fight for us every single day. And so it's been a cool way to partner with somebody that, obviously we need some alcohol on the road. We're a bunch of country singers. Listen, I love Jesus, but we like to drink a little bit.
We like to softly buzz.
Softly buzz.
Maybe sometimes not. I don't know.
Listen.
It changes.
More times than not. I'm just kidding, JK. They just were such a perfect and align with what we want, and to one of my favorite drinks that I drink all the time that we're gonna make later is a vodka drink. And then I'm also I'm sponsored with Clear, which I didn't know all about like oral hygiene and I've always been I used to use just like regular toothpaste and but I've become very organic, and I never thought I would be crunchy. The only thing I'm not crunchy about is I'm going to eat hot Cheetos. Everything else, I'll look and see. We have to have our one thing, and then this occasional Sonic, okay?
So hot Cheetos and Sonic are on the list.
Diet cherry limeade. But when it comes to all the chemicals and everything, especially with being a mom, I'm trying to be super clean and conscious. So Spry and Clear are just awesome nasal products. I didn't really know the importance of cleaning your nose every single day because it's the gateway to everything sinus related. And I've
it's
become a
allergy
dork.
season.
Yeah, allergy season. I use their toothpaste is awesome and doesn't taste like crap. Like, you know, normally like healthy toothpastes like are disgusting, or they're like the charcoal toothpaste. There's all their products are so awesome. And so to be able to have a little bit of that mixed with Heroes has been really cool. So
That's amazing.
yeah, it's been great.
Shout out to Heroes Vodka.
Shout out to
Again,
Heroes.
Pick up. What's your favorite thing about living in America? Let's talk
My
about
favorite
some
thing
things
about
that we
living
love.
in America. You know, my favorite thing about living in America is you can literally just start a business.
Yeah.
You can start now right now, I could get an Instagram page, start a business online, and be my own boss. I think that's one thing that we take for granted is the fact that you can literally take your life into your own hands within a matter of a second. And it's just all about your mindset and doing something different. And I think I'll just get straight into it. I think that's what the government doesn't want us to think, is that we can't do it on our own, when you actually can do it on your own. And you don't need anybody to tell you how to run your life. You just have to make the decision every day. I mean, it's hard work. I mean, it's not a 9-to-5 job.
No.
It's 24 hours a day, but you can make the American dream happen. And that's one thing that I never want to take for granted, because I'm living the American dream right now. I get to be with my daughter every day. I own my own business. I own my own music. I own my own publishing. I'm starting all these different companies.
You're working with like
I'm creating a
cosmetic
brand.
line,
That's what I'm
everything.
saying. But that wouldn't be, obtainable if I didn't live in this country. And I think that that's one thing that we should always, that's my favorite thing about America, is the fact that you can literally create your own destiny and you can do it.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be able to do this show anywhere else.
Yeah.
I would have to,
It's
probably would
true.
cost more money. And
cost more money, or you'd have to start with another network and you couldn't say certain things or do anything. And, even though it's hard there are a lot of naysayers and people and opinions and all that, and you're going to have that in anything you do. We're still so blessed to be able to have freedom of speech and to live in a free country, and to be able to, make those choices of what we want to do every single day. So,
and to not take it for granted.
Not
So
take it
it's
for
really
granted,
great
yeah.
for people to be, reminded, and also
it
ourselves.
is. I think so.
So going off your song again, your new single, Funny Girl, in terms of confidence, something I've always admired about you is you don't care what other people think. You are so this is how I'm gonna do it, and I'm proud of this, and I'm gonna be joyful about it, and I'm gonna be thankful, and I'm gonna talk about what I care about in this world. So what has been the foundation of that? What has carried you through those times where something has happened that's maybe, had you question, because we all question ourselves from time to time, but what's kept you steady?
I would definitely say my husband, my family, and my faith. I've had a great support system, and in those times, I have had those times of why the hell did I do that? I put my foot in my mouth or something like that. And my family and my husband and even friends were like, no, you stick by your convictions. You're not going to please everybody. And I think that's the thing that I've learned. I'll be 30 this year. Is
30s are awesome. They're so great.
I'm amped to be 30.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I've learned is it's okay to not please everybody. And I think when you are I've never been a people pleaser, but I don't like to. And I've never even not been the one to ruffle feathers, because I've done that my whole feathers. I've done that too, but I have, I think it's a very human thing to care what people think about you.
Yeah.
And I have cared, and I truly do love everyone, and I want everybody to get along, and I really want some of those things for this country and for all of us to just be like, hey, we're all human. Let's all take a big old chill pill with a big old glass of water and relax, but at the end of the day, I can't compromise the way that I feel about certain things because I'm trying to please everybody. And I think letting that go and being like, hey, I'm okay with not having 5,000 friends. I'm okay with having a little circle. I'm okay with everything, having acquaintances more than and I think that just comes with, getting older and also realizing I care about what these people think. These people are in my life. And then on social media, I mean, for me, I have over 700,000 people that I'm trying to impress. There's no way I'm going to appease all these people. And that's why I've just got to go with my God gut. And if it feels wrong, I'm not going to do it. And if something I say upsets you, I'm sorry. And if you don't want to follow me or listen to my music because it does, I'm okay with that. I'm truly okay with that. Yeah. But I think the funniest thing is people get so offended that I'm not. I'm like, girl, I do not care. Like, life's too short.
To be miserable or like.
Yeah, and it's just like, and my thing is like, we can all, like, it's okay to have differences. That's why we live in this country. That's what makes this country great, is the fact that we're all not the same. And I think that that's what's beautiful. So.
And I think like when you're in entertainment too, and I've gone like, there's some of this in the past 2 years of really seeing how when you're growing, your friendship groups are sometimes going to change.
And they change.
And knowing that, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't have to be like a big thing. It's just changing, growing. And
I heard one, I don't know if it was a quote, but it was saying that some people in your life are a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Yeah. And, some people in your life are a reason if it's to meet somebody else, a season, and maybe it was a season of your life that you needed them, or a lifetime. And like, I don't think that one prayer that I've always prayed every single day, and I still pray this, is I always say, God, I hope you open the doors that you want to be open and shut the ones that you don't. And I was like, and if there's anybody in my life you don't want in my life, take them out. Yeah. And then it's so funny because when he does, I'm like, why did you do that? I was like, oh wait, I can't pray this every single day and wonder why this person magically left. So I think that's a good.
Someone in your life right now that you really respect as a mentor or a friend that like is in that circle that you appreciate.
Oh my gosh. Friend or, well, I've talked about my husband. I would say my friend Demi. She's actually behind the camera. Yes. I'm not gonna look at her. Hi. She's right there. So she's joined my management team recently, and it's been really cool being able to work with somebody that truly has your back. And we've known each other since we were 11 years old, and so we don't really fight. We don't fight like sisters. We love like sisters. We get annoyed with each other, and I'm like, okay, go hang out in the other room for a little bit, and then we come back, and it's like she's gone for like 10 hours, and I'm like, where are you? You're staying the night tonight? Let's go to Dairy Queen. But I think that she's been a really big blessing for me, especially because I lived here in Nashville, so I left her when I was like 17, and moved to Nashville, so 18, and so I left her kind of in our hometown, and so but then she came back. She was like, I love it. So it was great.
She's here. We love everybody in this room. It's a good crew. Finally, before we get to our cocktails, we have 2 cocktails we're going to be making today. One inspired by Funny Girl, the other featuring Heroes Vodka. What's your favorite thing to do in your off time?
My favorite thing to do in my off time.
When you're going to a new city, when you're touring, like, is there something?
I do. Okay, when I'm in a new city, I like to just go explore. Find a coffee shop, go to a zoo. That's the cool thing about traveling with Daisy is it's like not weird to go do kid things. You know what I mean? Like I like to go to jumpy parks, and so I'm like, yeah, we're good again. I love to just explore. And then at home, I truly just love especially we just moved on 2 acres and just kind of walking around and riding the bike with Daisy, playing Ready, Set, Go, Stop. Just being with her is super fun, and doing crafts and stuff like that. She takes up a lot of time in a good way.
I love that. Yeah, crafts are, that was one of the highlights of my.
I love being a mom just to do crafts. I can have a craft station and it's not weird, it's epic.
And it makes an impact on that age much more than you think.
Yeah. I bought glue today, and I'm like, hell yeah, we bought glue. I bought a glue stick because we're going to make some crafts. I don't know what the hell we're making, but it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love it. Well, I think we should go craft some cocktails, shall we?
Let's do craft some cocktails.
I'm so excited. RaeLynn, everybody, I'm so glad that you're on the show. It's been really, really fun. And
Miss Libby.
Yes, Miss RaeLynn. And check out Funny Girl Tour. It's happening now. Get your tickets. You don't want to miss out. And we'll see you soon. So typically I like to make my cocktails in a shaker. Okay. But today, since we're using sparkling water, sparkling bubbly wine, we need to calm down.
Keeping it simple.
Keeping it simple, keeping it easy.
It's not nighttime yet, No.
We're
kind of chill.
But it's Friday Junior.
It is.
So we're getting close.
Let's go.